Hello everybody, we are back in the car, which means more likely than not, we're heading over to Trainland to go pick up some new trains. So join me today on RJ's Trains as we go and pick up the all-new Atlas 280 Premier steam locomotive, as well as some awesome Autoracks. So let's enjoy this 30-45 minute drive out to Lynbrook, to Trainland, Trainworld, to go pick up these items. Make sure to use code RJTRAINS at trains.com for $10 off any order $50 or more. It wouldn't be a Trainland video if I wasn't sitting in traffic. I mean, it is 11:20 in the morning on a Monday. Do you people not work? I took a sick day today, but like, come on people, you're supposed to be somewhere, not on the highway. We finally made it. Well, one more turn. Well, after about a 40-minute or so drive, we've made it to Trainworld, Trainland. You guys love telling me in the comments, it's called Trainworld, not Trainland. It's like calling Carl's Jr. Hardee's or Checkers Rallies. Same name, just different buildings, same company, same stuff inside. So let's go pick up my pre-orders. And there is my stack. We've got a real train and a back seat full of toy trains. Let's get home so we can take these out of the box and run them. All right, as you can see, we've made it back here to the layout. We've got the trains sitting down here. Now, the Autoracks, we'll take out and take a quick look at them, but I've featured them before on my channel. They've been featured almost everywhere on train social media. So we'll just take a quick look at those and their new paint schemes, and we'll focus on the star of the show, which is the all-new Atlas 280. I'm going to take these out of the box off camera, as I'm told in every unboxing video where I unbox the trains on camera, that you guys know how to take trains out of the box. So I'll do that off camera and I'll get back to you guys in just a second. So first up, we've got these two beautiful and ginormous Atlas O Masterline Autoracks. Guess I was a little boring and got two yellow ones. The first one is this Canadian Pacific with the Beaver logo, which I just love. I have a couple of CP units from the first run, but they're white and they have the CP logo. I love the Beaver logo. That's why I got that one, because I'm dumb. And then over here, we have a CSX one. Now, I used to have a Lionel CSX one, but I actually sold all of my Lionel Autoracks because I like these Atlas ones so much better. I don't collect a ton of modern locomotives, freight-wise, but CSX is what I saw when I lived in DC and I would rail fan. So I always have a special place in my heart for CSX. So this brings my Atlas Autoracks total up to about a dozen at this point. So I don't have the biggest layout. I think I wouldn't even be able to run all of my Atlas Autoracks at the same time. But, you know, they'll be put to good use on a future and hopefully bigger layout. And here it is out of the box. It is the all-new Atlas O 280 Consolidation with Proto Sounds 3. Atlas's second ever attempt at making a steam locomotive. Now, the tooling behind this locomotive actually has an interesting past. Originally, it was designed for K-Line. K-Line eventually went out of business, and then Weaver produced this model. Weaver produced it with TMCC, but there were a lot of problems with the running gear, and the trains didn't run all that great. So that's one of the big questions for this model. How does it actually run compared to the Weaver model, which was very poor? Eventually, Weaver went out of business, and Atlas acquired this tooling probably close to 15 years ago, and they've just about now finally got to produce it. Now, taking this out of the box, I was very, very impressed on how good it looks. And a lot of my judgment is based off the fact that I previously owned a Lionel 280 Consolidation, and in terms of looks and details, this Atlas 01 blows the Lionel one out of the water, and you get it for about $300 less than that Lionel one. You know, it's just my opinion, but I'll include a video here of my old Lionel 630 and compare it to this new Southern 630. Now, for those longtime viewers of my channel, you're probably not as shocked to see a Southern Railway locomotive, as I used to be a big collector of the Southern Railway. But that chapter in my life closed a long time ago. But I actually got to go down to Chattanooga and see Southern 630 in action at the Tennessee Valley Railway Museum. So because it's a train I've ridden behind, I've seen it under steam, I do have that special attachment to it. So when Atlas announced this much more accurate looking 280 compared to Lionel's representation of Southern 630, I jumped at the bit, I sold my Lionel Legacy one, and I pre-ordered this Atlas 01. Now, although Atlas calls this a premier steam locomotive, it does not live up to the MTH premier quality. There are certainly a lot of molded on details, which goes back to the time it was being tooled by K-Line and Weaver as a lower end model. For example, the roof hatches don't open. Another thing that a lot of people are upset about is that the side rods are too thick. They're not scale. And of course, the biggest point of controversy on this model is the plastic coal load. Now, this is a relatively simple fix. You can just get coal yourself and, add it to the tender. Really no big deal, but also at the price you're paying, you should expect for it to come with a real coal load. I mean, Lion Chief engines come with a more realistic coal load than this. And Atlas has already said on future runs of this 280, that is something that they are going to correct and actually include a real coal load. But on this run, it was done in order to keep the cost down as low as possible. In addition to keep costs down, on top of the plastic coal load, Atlas also, they did not include the steaming whistle feature in this model, but they did do other things to upgrade this model, like a new whistle on top of the boiler, as well as adding a flickering firebox, which were not included on the previous Weaver release many, many years ago. And I guess some Southern 630 specific inaccuracies with this model is that the bell on the real Southern 630 is in front of the smokestack on top of the smoke box, which is not represented on this model, as well as the whistle, which is a C&03 chime, is not accurate to this model and is also in the incorrect location. But overall, it looks so much better than the Lionel one. So what are my thoughts on 630 here and the Atlas 280 consolidations? Well, I guess I'll do my full review after we fire this thing up and run it, because I've heard some people having problems with it, having the same gearbox issues that Weaver did. I also know people whose engines are completely fine, so we'll see how mine is. But I think at that $700 price point, you shouldn't be expecting an MTH Premier steam locomotive, which this isn't, despite the fact it's called Atlas O Premier. I think it is a very, very solid looking locomotive in that $700 price frame. I mean, really now on the O-scale market, this is the cheapest scale steamer, with full-blown command control that you can really get. I mean, this thing is only a couple $100 more than a Rail King Imperial steam locomotive. And it's cheaper than it's cheaper than any Lion Master steam locomotive from Lionel, let alone a Legacy 280 consolidation from Lionel. So I think you're getting your money's worth, but you shouldn't be expecting top of the line stuff at the price that you're paying, which is totally okay. I mean, so far, before firing this up, I think it's a home run from Atlas, and I really hope that they're able to expand on this and similar projects in the future. So let's fire up the 280, let's see how it sounds, and then in the running session, we've also got stablemate at the TVRM Southern 4501, which I also saw on my travels to Chattanooga. So we've got a freight train on the upper loop, an excursion on the lower loop. Anyways, let's fire up the locomotive.
Check on that water level, will you? Swing that spout over. Water level's down 300. Okay, that's enough. Let's grease up the side rod. Looks good. Plenty of steam. I'm going to blow her down now. Clear? Clear.
All right, so what are my final thoughts after running in and breaking in this train? I think it is well worth the money, probably the best value for your money steam locomotive on the market. As you saw there at the beginning, at slower speeds, at the very beginning, it was jerky, but then after running it for about 15-20 minutes, as you could see as the video goes on, the smoke unit becomes more intense, and there at the end, just before I shut it down, I tried it again at slower speeds, below 10 scale miles an hour, and it was running a lot better. So I think with a little oil, running these locomotives in, they perform a lot. They perform very well. I've got Lionel and MTH engines that don't perform as good as this out of the box. So, I don't think you have to worry about it being a holdover from Weaver. It ain't perfect, but I've seen a lot worse. So, like I said, this is a huge thumbs up from me, especially at the price. I think Atlas really did well with this one. There are some flaws, but you're also getting a $700 scale steam locomotive, which is pretty much unheard of in today's market. So I hope you guys all enjoyed the video. Hit thumbs up if you did. Leave a comment down below. What are your thoughts on this model? Am I crazy, or do you actually see what I'm looking at here? Anyways, take care, stay safe, and happy railroading.